Welcome back to another edition of the Night Report podcast. I'm your host, Mike Broadbent. Joining me once again are my co-hosts, Richie O'Leary and Alec Crowdhamel. Two new commitments to discuss for the class of 2026 for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. The first is a flip from University of South Florida, old Big East rival. It's Rinaldo Callaway. He's coming into Rutgers as an athlete. He's from Southwest High School in Macon, Georgia. We'll get into his commitment. We're going to do the two parts again. So we'll have the second commitment in the second pod, and we'll also kind of discuss who else we think might be in really good shape to end up at Rutgers from this past weekend. But first, this podcast is presented to you by MyBookie. It's crunch time on the court, and the NBA playoffs are your chance to score big. Whether you're riding high with the favorites or cheering for the underdog, every three-pointer, dunk, and buzzer beater is an opportunity to win at MyBookie. Place your bets live as the action unfolds, and if you're feeling confident, you can lock in your winnings early with a quick cash out option. You never want to miss an opportunity to turn your basketball insights into real cash. And if you're new to MyBookie, you can sign up today with our promo code MM50 and instantly boost your first deposit by 50%. So if you deposit $50, you can get extra $25 for free. More action, more excitement, and more chances to win during basketball's most intense playoff season. Plus, when the games wrap up, you can head to MyBookie's casino to keep the winning streak alive with slots, blackjack, roulette, and more. The thrills never stop. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere, only with MyBookie. All right, Rinaldo Callaway, 6'5", 205-pound athlete out of Southwest High School in Macon, Georgia. Richie, how did this commitment come together while he was a visitor on campus?
So they only offered back on May 13th. They were one of multiple Power 5 schools that offered, or Power 4 schools, I should say. It was them and Wake Forest. And then all of a sudden, a couple days later, Kentucky got involved, and then Georgia Tech got involved, Virginia got involved. So a bunch of different schools were starting to go after him. He was committed to South Florida since, I think it was late April. And then I guess more schools just kind of started to notice him a little more. And he just came to campus, and they really just sold him on the program. It was not a easy sell, but not a hard sell either. It was just more of like getting him to campus, letting him check everything out, showing him what the defense provides, showing him what he could do in this defense, and kind of going from there. He just built a quick relationship with the staff. They offered him, they got him, they visited him at his school. I believe they had an in-home visit as well, and it was just as simple as that. He got to campus, he loved everything about it, and locked him in. Now, he had official visits also scheduled to Kentucky, Tulane, and South Florida. Of course, South Florida he was committed to. Kentucky probably would have pushed for a commitment as well. And there was a feeling that Kentucky was probably right there with Rutgers in the end, but Rutgers ends up beating them out and flipping a solid edge rusher, athlete.
So he's coming in with that athlete distinction. What positions could he potentially play at Rutgers?
He's either going to be an edge or a tight end. I think he has a higher upside as an edge. If you just watch his tape, he's definitely very raw, but he's super athletic. He's got lengthy arms. He's got that tall frame, a legit, like kind of, I guess, similar to YD Collier's frame, where he's tall, lengthy, skinny kid, but he has to pack. He's going to have to pack on weight, but he's able to use that length to get around the tackles and just get to the quarterback. He's also just quick as shit on the field. Like it's not even the speed for me. It's more of the acceleration when on the field. It's like that football speed. He's able to chase down quarterbacks, chase down running backs, and just kind of he's able to hit like a ton of bricks too. And he's not afraid to drop his shoulder on guys. His tape is pretty fun to watch, just because I wouldn't say it's as fun to watch as Logan Anthony, but he is just very aggressive when it comes to tackling guys. Like he's just ripping guys' shoulder pads. He's just dropping shoulders into their hips. Like it is fun to watch, but he is definitely very raw. He needs to learn some technique. But if I recall correctly, there was a pretty raw edge rusher back in, what was it, 2010, 11 in Komoko Toure, who was very raw, and they turned him into what, a top third round pick, second round pick, second round pick, yeah. So I mean, the potential's there. You just got to teach it to him, and I think the sky's the limit for him.
Alec, what were some of the things that jumped out at you from watching his tape?
Yeah, like Richie said, definitely the athleticism, the acceleration as well. There's a ton of plays on his tape, ton of reps where he's on the far side of a play, whether it's a running back or a quarterback, and it's a run play to the outside. Let's say he's on the right side, but it's off the left tackle. He'll just chase him down and bring him down. There were a ton of reps like that on his tape. So definitely a lot there athletically. Yeah, it's a word, athletically. Yeah. as far as like against Big Ten linemen, there's definitely some things to work on. I think the athleticism is a solid floor, but like Richie said, definitely have to put on some weight at 6'5", 205. Definitely gonna have to put on some weight similar to Whitey Collier in that regard. Um, yeah, some more technique things like the athleticism is going to do pretty well in high school, especially in Georgia, which is a pretty solid state for football, obviously, especially on the offensive line class for this year in particular. Um, but against Big Ten caliber linemen, you're definitely going to have to put together, pass rush plan with your moves and your pass rush bag and all that fun stuff. So there's definitely some things to grow on and develop, including, obviously adding some muscle, putting some weight on, but also just kind of developing as an overall defensive lineman, things like that. So he looked pretty good in the run game with his pursuit angles and acceleration. Certainly helped that. His play recognition was pretty solid as well, also helped by his acceleration. So there's definitely something there. Just looking at his highlights, like the acceleration definitely sticks out, and then just the way he's able to rip guys down. Very fun to watch, and obviously you can see the sideline to sideline speed that he has, which is not very common for an edge rusher. So there's something there for sure. So definitely a pretty solid flip. And then if you watch some of his tape at tight end too, he's also an athlete. Sometimes they'll split him out wide, like you see here. Now he's in the slot. And he's able to just kind of accelerate after the catch point. So whether he's on offense or defense, there's definitely something there with his athleticism. We'll just see how the staff can develop it. Mike, you are muted, and so is Richie, actually, so I'm the only one.
Yep.
Yeah, long, wiry frame, clearly going to need to pack on a bunch of weight, as most linemen or potential edge rushers do, going from high school to college. But a lot to like on his tape. He's just able to kind of sort through the trash really well. He doesn't get kind of, stuck on, when guys are kind of at his feet, or, when there's a lot of congestion in the backfield, he's able to kind of cut through it pretty easily, it seems. So I like what I see. Rich, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, Alec kind of hit the nail on the head with just about everything, but I think his future's definitely an edge rusher. Like you watch this tape, and there's not a ton of technique there. It's mostly just athleticism and just displaying how much more athletic he is than everyone on the other side of the ball. But I think if you could teach him some technique, teach him a couple pass rush moves, I think, again, this guy could be the limit here. But that raw athleticism is just untapped potential. You just have to teach it to him.
They certainly have a type, because he, like you said, he does remind me a lot of Whitey Collier in terms of just the body and the athleticism. So they're clearly trying to just find these athletes and mold them in, because there's very few defensive linemen out of high school who are going to realistically have a chance to play year one, just given how much you need to develop. There are the freaks, who are the 5 stars, the high 4 stars who can come in and contribute right away at the power 4 level, but those are few and far between.
John Stewart.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think this is like not just for the defensive line, but it's also kind of just the type that they're kind of going after for the front seven. Because if you look at some of the two linebackers that they brought in, Adam Shaw and Joey Kopech as well, those guys are also speedy, athlete first kind of guys. So I think they're really banking on the coaching and development to kind of teach them that the technique and the finer points of playing, whether it's edge rusher or linebacker or anything like that. But they're really going after guys who have that athletic floor that you can't really teach. And then, obviously teaching the teachable things later once they get to school.
I feel like that's always been like a Greg MO though too. Like get the athletic guys that love the game of football, and I can teach them how to better themselves at the game of football. Anything that's like athletic person or profile is not teachable. Like you're either athletic or you're not. Whereas I can teach you technique. I can teach you what to do and what not to do.
Like in his first stint, I mean, one of the big, focal points of the defensive line was getting some of these smaller athletic guys where that may not hold up in the Big Ten, but we're seeing some of the interior offensive linemen they're going after, and even the edge rushers, they still have that athletic frame where, like you said, where, you trusting in the coaching staff's development abilities to use that athleticism to their advantage and kind of round these guys out to be strong football players.
Yeah. I mean, they have enough D-line coaches. You better be able to figure it out.
Yep, totally agree. Is there anything else on Rinaldo Callaway that we wanted to touch on before we head to our next commitment pod?
I think it's nice that they're getting back into Georgia again. It's essentially second fiddle to Florida, but not really too much second fiddle because Georgia produces it probably just shouldn't say just as high of a rate, but it's damn up there. It's probably top 5 in the country in terms of producing NFL talent. So to get back in Georgia is huge because you have 2 last year, you have 2 this year right now. I mean, it's just you got to keep just building those relationships down there and landing a kid like Callaway. I know Southwest doesn't produce a ton of talent. This is actually their first Power 4 prospect since Rivals started tracking it in 2002.
Wow.
But I mean, it's not a bad school to get involved with. Just keep getting involved with these Georgia kids. You got a 4-star last year out of Georgia. You got a 4-star this year out of Georgia. It's only going to keep paying off more and more.
100% agree. That's going to do it for this episode. Stick in your podcast feed because we're going to talk the other tight end commit from this class in DJ Howerton in the other side of the feed. So stay tuned and we'll be back in a minute.